Mhm. So would you, or do you suggest to your clients taking some time off of social media? Um,
Always,
Always,
always.
yeah. I used to think that the impact of it was overrated in terms of the negative impact, but I actually think it's severely underrated, don't you?
It's very underrated. I'm on my phone now.
What
Let me
is that?
see.
Oh, is that telling you how long you're on per
If
day?
this goes
20.
over 30 minutes average daily, that's a problem for me, right?
Wow.
As a consumer, that is a problem for me because I'm not handling business on social media. Now, if you're handling business on social media, then I understand it. And the thing is, what are you following, right? Now, if you're
Mhm.
following motivational stuff, positive stuff, things that are going to boost morale, go for it. But if it's negativity, if it's drama, then maybe you should kind of minimize what you're putting in because what you put in comes out. And have you ever just been, listening to someone and they're just negative, and then all of a sudden you're negative, or you're listening to a song and it may be negative, and now you're having negative thoughts? I'm big on what you feed yourself, right? Because this is our mental state, this is our mental health. What are we feeding our mind? What are we putting in? If we put negativity in, how do you think that's going to play internally? And so I'm big on taking social media breaks. I monitor myself. If that goes over 30 minutes, that's a
Mm.
problem for me because what am I doing on social media all day or that long? And typically, to be honest, most of the time we just pick up our phone and out of habit,
It's
and we're just
automated.
sitting there and we just go to social media. We're not doing anything, we're not looking at anything. But what if we implemented or substituted that habit for a positive habit, or going and stand in the mirror and doing positive affirmations, or just calling and checking on people and say, how are you doing? If that was a habit, how far would we be?
Yeah, I think that's, since we're talking about tools of preventive mental health, there you go. This is one that's very difficult for me. In recent months, my job has sort of changed. And so I'm really plugged in. There's a lot of positivity, but also a lot of negativity that comes with that. And I wish I was on for only 30 minutes a day. I'm even scared to look at it. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. And the reality of it is it has an impact. I have felt it. I've seen other people sort of go through it. So just to sort of highlight so that people have something to take away from this, whatever you think you're doing that's super important. I know right now there's a conflict in Ethiopia and there's just a lot of conversations around that. But at the end of the day, your own personal, emotional, and mental health is more important than anything else. And I say that really looking at myself, and I'm looking to find ways to kind of limit it, whether it's take off certain apps off my phone for a certain amount of part of the day, because I literally feel it. Like there's just something in my body that's just like becomes anxious after seeing so much negativity, even though in my head I'm like, I don't care what they're saying. I believe what I'm doing, or whatever the case.
You could get
How
caught up without, oh, I'm sorry, go
No, no,
ahead.
no, please do go. I was just running on.
No, 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 because what you're saying is true and people need to hear it, because you can get caught up without even getting caught up by watching certain things, and then an hour pass. You're like, wait a minute, I've been on my phone this long. And so it's easy to get caught up in it before saying, wait a minute. And
Mhm.
people like entertainment. We're lazy thinkers. We're lazy. We don't exercise the mind enough. I remember when I was younger, we used to go out and ride bikes and skating, and to be in the house was like torture. And so, it's lazy thinking. This is lazy to just pick this up and do this because it's entertaining. And we don't want to make those brain muscles work. So to just do this, it doesn't take much but the flip of a phone and use your finger.
Yeah, there's times where I've completely taken the app off, and then I find myself on my phone looking for the app. I'm like, what, you took it off for a reason today. It's not here. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, like there's just moments like that where you're like, so okay, there's a certain wiring that I'm not even conscious of, and it's almost
I
scary.
got it.
It's
Autopilot.
automated. Yeah. Your fingers just start doing something. You're like, it's so
It's
crazy.
almost like second nature at this point. Social media, and I can't blame social media apps, right? A business is always going to look at their bottom line. They're always going to do things to make their consumers want whatever they're providing their product. And so, as the consumer, we have to be responsible because the business is doing their job. They're keeping you on their app. That's what they are supposed to do. But we have to look at it from a different perspective. And it's okay to be on if you're listening to positive things and things that are going to feed you. And I'm like an activist. So even when there's certain protests or different things going on, I have to step away from it because I find myself getting angry. I'm all for the underdog and I get angry about injustices. And so even though it's not necessarily negative, it takes my emotions to a different place. And I have to be responsible to say, okay, this is enough. I have to shut off.
Oh, that is so real. I remember when the George Floyd, I don't even know what to call it, murder happened. There was, I was working in local news. I was doing a story every day on it, trying to, dissect like what happened, how could this happen, what are the rules there, and it's something I wanted to do. And then the conversations would happen in my personal life. It was a time of COVID as well. And it was just a lot. Like I found myself just like shifting in mood. I saw that in other people and my friends. Got to the point sometimes I'm like, please stop sending me stuff. Like it is literally making me have a certain visceral reaction. And I want to be engaged, but I don't want to be so obsessed that it's actually detrimental to me. And I think social media has made activism very easy in terms of you don't always have to be out in the streets. So you're always doing it on your phone. So, and I also wonder if like part of people's excessive engagement is maybe it's easier to feel like you're doing something in that space versus deal with your own stuff. I know it's not true for everybody, but sometimes it feels like you're over there trying to save the whole world, but there's some stuff at home that you should take care of, right? And I'm speaking to me too, and so it's not any judgment on anybody.
So no judgment, but we have to be true. We have to be truthful. We have to be transparent. I don't believe in feeding the starving neighbors when the household is starving. And what I mean when I say that is, it would be hypocritical of me to have all these youth events to reach all these youth and then my kid is struggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it starts in the home. And I think many times we distract to not even, I'm gonna take it more personal, to not deal with self. Because if I worry about what's going on next door, then that means I don't have to really sit down and sort through what's going on with me. And many times people don't like to identify the problem because if I identify the problem, that means I have to change something. And then you'll hear people say, well, that's just me. But is that okay? Like I could say I'm very assertive, right? I'm very direct. And so I'm straight to the point sometimes. And people would tell me, like, you don't even say hi, you just say what you're getting to. And at first, when I was very young, I would say, that's just me. But as I grew up and I got wiser, I had to understand that is me, but it's rude. And even though I am direct, I still have to be mindful of my audience. And many times we normalize dysfunctional behaviors and unhealthy behaviors within ourselves. And we distract by deflecting, by watching everyone else and being involved in everything else, but being involved here first.
Hey, everybody, please support independent journalism based on the truth by going to patreon.com/HermelaTV and becoming a member. Thank you so much for your support.